Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York, well, in Lower Manhattan, because we're going to the State Court today, Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. Now, we're heading early. It's earlier than usual, because we're going to make it into what may be the final day of the People of the State of New York versus Daniel Penny trial. We've been writing about it, and in fact, we published a book about it called Daniel Penny for Your Thoughts. So if you want to know it, you'll find it on Amazon. It's also in audiobook format, etc. I'll get more to that in a second. But on the Diddy docket, speaking of books, and on the Diddy docket, yesterday a new attorney filed to represent the United States. It's Maurene Comey. Maurene Comey. Now, of course, some people are going back into visiting the father on the daughter, but Maurene Comey was also on the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. So that is interesting. And I think in terms of the bail determination, although Team Diddy, including Alexander Shapiro and Mark Agnifilo, they made much about this Abercrombie EDNY case in which Jeffries was released on $10 million bail, and you may have heard it here first, Matthew Smith may be released today. EDNY, DOJ may make a deal for him to be released, and I can imagine Sean Combs maybe reapplying to Judge Subramanian for bail or using it as an appeal to the Second Circuit, because they'll say, look, DOJ is letting certain defendants out, but Ghislaine Maxwell was never released. She's now in jail in Florida, and she's lost her appeal at the Second Circuit, and it's because she was viewed as a risk of flight. I don't know if it was an obstruction issue. In any event, we wrote about that yesterday, and we put it actually on Substack, some of this Matthew Smith Abercrombie analogy, and the reason is we had a second book on Diddy. We have Diddy Do It. You can find that one, but Diddy Detained you cannot find. And so we've decided, at least for now, that some of this coverage that we're putting into the books will be on Substack, so you can look for it there. You can also find actually the book about Ghislaine Maxwell, Maximum Maxwell. Okay, enough promotion. Yesterday we covered, after this difficult time trying to cover the Daniel Penny closing arguments day one. This is going to be day two with the prosecution. We covered the sentencing of David Brend of the crypto fraud known as ICOMTech. He got 10 years. He came up in a tracksuit. He said, it was maybe a sweatsuit, I'm not sure, from Florida. He read scripture. Judge Rochon dropped 10 years on him. So there's that. You can find that online. And we also covered the United Nations, where the U.S. mission to the UN, under Linda Thomas Greenfield, now in a lame duck status, held a press conference but didn't answer the press, that is to say, inner city press's questions, including about corruption in the Colombia mission, including about a case down here in SDNY against UNRWA by U.S. citizens, in which the State Department is taking the position that the UN is totally immune from suits. So you'll have to find all that. We're going to cover them for the rest of the month. And there's a litmus test coming, because we're not even allowed into the UN, even though we write more stories about it than the people that have in there. I guess they don't like the stories. That's called censorship. Also, look back on this whole Diddy Detain business. But hope springs eternal. We just continue to report. And we're going to be doing it soon, hopefully, after about a 2-hour delay. Waiting in the Daniel Penny trial, because one door closes, you try to walk in through another door. Inner City Press, that's the motto. To be continued.